our first fight of the night. 15-3, Henry Corrales, Andy Main with 12 wins, set to make his debut.
Take a look. 5'11" is huge for a 145-pounder. And look at the reach advantage Andy Main has. He wants to use that against Henry Corrales.
Official introductions. Here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to NYCB Live, home of the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Tonight, live on Paramount Network, Bellator MMA gets the action underway inside the cage. 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division, brought to you by Boost Mobile. Get the best value in national prepaid wireless, easy to switch, easy to save. And now, first introducing the blue corner. At 5'11", weighing in 145.6 pounds, making his Bellator debut, he enters with 12 professional victories, 3 defeats with 1 draw, fighting out of Rockaway, New Jersey, presenting Andy Main. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'8", weighing in 146 pounds even as a professional. 15 victories, 3 losses, fighting out of La Mirada, California, introducing Henry Corrales. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge of the action, Rob Hines.
Rob Hines, our referee. Andy Main, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, making his way from Jersey, fighting in the state of New York for the very first time. His opponent, Henry O.K. Corrales. Here we go! Tonight's Fight Clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Andy Main in the blue gloves, Henry Corrales in the red gloves.
Andy Main always comes out southpaw. He will switch at times, but his southpaw stance, he fights very long. He keeps his opponent to the outside, picks his shots. He's got an outstanding ground game, though, Mike. And if this fight goes to the ground, he has a distinct advantage over Henry.
Former Pancrase featherweight champion, 5-time Pancrase veteran, and the only reason he didn't defend his title was because of a couple of knee surgeries, ton of experience, and a ton of great training over the years in New Jersey. Was out with some of Renzo Gracie's black belts like Jamie Cruz, the Miller brothers, Tiger Schulman's. I mean, this dude might be making his debut in the Bellator cage, but it is far from his debut in MMA.
No, the one thing he's gained is the experience by going overseas, fighting in an organization like Pancrase. And I'm not saying anything bad about Pancrase. It's a great organization, especially in the lighter weights that he fought in. But they do try to set foreigners up. They'll switch opponents on him. They do things to screw with you, and he has already been through all of those situations, has dealt with them, and so he's a veteran of MMA.
Owns his own gym, Pure MMA, in Rockaway, New Jersey. Don't forget, fans, join the conversation at hashtag Bellator 208. First round of our first fight. Henry Corrales, fighting out of the lab in Glendale, Arizona. His teammate, his mentor, his friend, Benson Henderson, will fight later tonight in our co-main event of the evening against Syed Awad. Big fight at 155.
You can see Henry right now, he's trying to figure out that length, trying to figure out the distance, and he's missing a lot. Just a little bit, and that's what that length will do to you, but Henry will get it down. Henry is a tough striker who comes into bomb. He throws huge hooks, heavy right hand. He is a tough customer that you will not get rid of. He is going to be here for a fight.
And you want to talk about thrown right into the fire. Opened with fights against Daniel Strauss, former champion, Emmanuel Sanchez, about to fight for the title, and the present champion, Patricio Pitbull, a fight in which he took on 13 days' notice. Since that point, John, 3-0, including a dominant performance over Georgi Karhanian. Henry Corrales pretty much shut him down for 15 minutes.
He did. I've known Henry for a long time, seen him when he was fighting in King of the Cage in different places. He was undefeated at the time and had a ton of talent. Came to Bellator, and they put him through Murderer's Row with the guys they put him against. And I talked to him about it, he said, I'm no victim. He goes, my first 3 fights in Bellator gave me the chance to improve as a fighter, and that's the way I look at it. Those fights have changed me, and now that I have learned of what I didn't know in the past, I went to the lab, started training and changing my training partners. Now that I have Benson Henderson, I see what it takes to be that elite fighter. I am glad I had those 3 fights.
He talked so much pre-fight about Benson and how Benson carries himself, how Benson trains, how Benson treats people, what he does away from the cage. And he's found a really good home and a great fit with John Crouch at the MMA lab.
He's very happy about where he's at, and you're getting a little bit of noise coming out of the crowd. This is gonna be a technical fight. Both of these guys have great skills, and it's a matter of figuring out your opponent, figuring out where you can feint, where you can step, where you're gonna be able to land your shots, or if you're gonna take a shot to get the fight to the ground. It takes time to figure out what your opponent is doing and where he's at.
Glaze checking in, was with us last night for a great night inside the Mohegan Sun Arena. Jake Glazer ready to do his football tomorrow, but you know he's watching. Fedor and Chael, good flurry by Henry Corrales. Speaking of Fedor, Andy Main said, I would have never dreamed I would be on the same card as Fedor. Right now he is getting tagged by Henry OK Corrales.
Yeah, Henry's opening up. He's hit him with a couple of big shots, starting to change the complexion of the fight with those shots. Andy Main has to take his time, control that distance, get back to what he was doing in the beginning.
Corrales looking for his 4th win. He just got tagged. Good start to our night, live on Paramount Network. I'm going to guess that, Josh, you're going to say it again throughout the night because you can't say it enough.
Good inside leg kick by Henry Corrales. Landing that's going to slow down that length of Main. Look at the right hand landing, solid right hand. Little bit heavier strikes from Henry Corrales wins him the round, in my opinion.
Corrales left Southern California, but did not leave his coach, Eddie Cha, who is now one of the coaches at the lab in Glendale, Arizona. So he's still with Eddie, and he has added a lot of great coaching and talent to his arsenal, and it has paid off. Andy Main, winner of 4 of his last 5 fights, has never been stopped in his professional career.
I love the fact that when Andy Main, he came into learning jiu-jitsu from skateboarding and snowboarding, learns jiu-jitsu, decides, I want an MMA fight. Goes to the amateur program, the first person the promoter puts him against, he says, oh, he's not that good. It's only Jimmy Rivera.
Right? Who's now one of his training partners.
Exactly. Oh, nice left hand by Andy Main. Henry's starting to walk through him. They're not affecting him, and that's the one thing is Andy needs multiple shots to land on Henry to hurt Henry. Henry can actually land one and hurt Andy. He's got that kind of power.
And that's exactly what you're talking about right there at the left, Chuck.
Yep. So when it gets into this, Henry's looking, saying, I'll take one to give one because I believe that my shots are heavier than yours.
Had the knockout of Cody Bollinger 1 year ago at the Forum, which is where the heavyweight finals will be, by the way, as we turn the page to 2019. It'll be Bader and either Chael or Fedor. Everything on the feet so far for the black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu since 2014. Andy Main, he's been willing to strike and trade with Henry OK Corrales.
Corrales really working that inside right leg of Andy Main.
Main trains with the Miller brothers a couple days a week. Don't forget, fans, download the all-new Bellator MMA Global app now and take Bellator wherever you go. Check out Paramount Network cards in the U.S. with no delay by authenticating with your TV provider. Plus, you can find tons of original content, detailed fighter info, and the most updated schedule of forthcoming Bellator events available now on iOS and Android. Midway point of this 3-round fight. Corrales in the red gloves, the newcomer Andy Main, the Jersey kid in the blue gloves. backup though.
And that's
Morales
what's
able to get inside.
When you land a beautiful trip like that, great technique, but you don't get a hold of your opponent's body, that's the problem. He pops right back up, and all of that great technique goes right out the window.
Of course, Coach John Crouch, longtime Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. His mentor and his leader, Benson Henderson, as well. Switching the stance a bit. Morales goes southpaw. And hits the outside of the lead leg.
You're going to see when Corrales is in his orthodox stance, Andy Main's in southpaw, it's the guy that maintains that outside foot position. You see them start to battle. See Henry step outside. That way he can bring that right hand straight down the pipe and hit Main, and it kind of takes away Main's main power and his ability to strike back.
Let's see what you did there. Main's main. I like it.
To the body. Henry seems extremely comfortable and composed with his striking and his attack here tonight.
When Henry moves his feet and changes the angle, he's giving Andy Main problems. When he's standing directly in front of him, Andy's able to land that long, straight jab and pop Henry back. He needs to continue to move his feet if he wants to continue to be successful in this fight. Don't be flat-footed.
Andy Main, one of the fighters on the Ultimate Fighter season 12 at age 21, lost early. That was Team GSP versus Team Koscheck. Hasn't quite found his rhythm yet in this fight. Corrales has dictated his first 10 minutes.
Both of them kind of open up there. That's what Henry wants. Henry wants this brawler's ball. Andy Main does not want the brawler's attack. Take a look here. Nice inside leg kick. That leg kick has been landing, but a good counter punch by Andy Main. That's the trip. That was a beautiful thing, but didn't have that underhook so he could control the body. Henry comes right out, right back to his feet.
Henry Corrales up to love.
I have Henry Corrales up to love. They're close rounds, and it's possible the judges are looking the other way, but I have Henry up.
You heard the corner say, pretend or feel like there is an urgency to win this round, which you should do for every round, by the way.
Both fighters should be looking.
Yeah, I think that would be, somewhat obvious.
But again, to your point, John, not sure how it is being scored thus far because it has been back and forth.
One of the things, if you're a coach in the corner and you're noticing, if you're in Henry's corner, you've got to notice that when Henry comes forward, Andy starts to have a little bit more trouble. When Andy's able to walk forward, he's more successful with that jab and keeping Henry at his distance.
7th Bellator fight for Henry Corrales, 2nd straight on the main card as we get things started here. And the former champion checking in. Looking forward to watching tonight. We cannot wait for the rematch against Brent Primus, December 14th in Hawaii. Iron Mike Chen.
That little combo, that hurt Andy, man. That's why you saw Andy do a little circle out, get a little distance. He wants to clear the cobwebs out just a little bit. This is the time. There again is that inside leg kick. That's the time that Henry Corrales should start pushing that pace.
All 3 professional losses for Andy Main have been by decision. Just over 3.5 remaining in this fight. Henry's last 2 fights have gone the distance. Both victories over Noed Lahat and the aforementioned Georgi Karvanian.
You can see that inside that right leg on Andy Main, it is beat up. And he's starting to take a funny step. That's because he kind of can't feel that leg a little bit. See that little step there is a little off. That's all from the damage that Henry Corrales has created through that leg kick. There it is again. Somehow, these fighters have the ability to hit that same exact spot.
Speaking of hit, he's hurt. Big shot. Hit is all over. Henry Corrales finishes Andy Main. Make it 4 straight for Henry OK Corrales.
Take a look at this shot. Left hand, boom, right on the button. Drops Andy Main down, and you can see that Andy is stunned. Cannot get his body to move. His brain's not connected. That left hand snapping the head around. Big shot, kind of frozen. Hits the body, goes after him. Andy just starts to cover. No defense, he's hurt. Take a look at this in real speed. Right hand misses, left hook, boom! Big shot. Nothing Andy Main could do. He cannot control his body to defend himself at that time.
6th career win by knockout for Henry Corrales. Our official decision is coming up next.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end officially. 2 minutes, 8 seconds into round number 3. The winner by knockout, Henry Corrales.
3rd round finish for Henry Corrales, 4th straight victory. Big John McCarthy will talk to OK.
What's up, stud? You got your teeth in. What's up with that?
I do. My quarterman didn't forget him in the back.
I am here with your winner, Henry OK Corrales. Henry, that was a tough fight against a very tough and talented fighter that came out of the Pancrase organization. Stepped in here against you. Long, difficult to deal with. What was it like fighting Andy Main?
Well, I prepared really hard for this fight. I was ready to get out there and finish him in the 1st round, but he had other plans. He's super tough, dude. He had a super strong poker face the whole time. I couldn't get inside, and he made me really that's for sure.
Let's talk about that knockout shot. You missed that right hand, but that left hook came over the top and hit him flush. Take a look up there on the screen. That left hook landed square. He was stunned. You went after him, ended the fight with a couple of shots. This is your 4th win in a row. How are you feeling now in the Bellator cage?
Yeah, that's Eddie Chaw's bread and butter. He teaches that to all our guys. Yeah, that's 4 straight now since joining the new family, the MMA Lab in Phoenix, Arizona with Coach Crouch. Me and Chaw made the move out there to the desert from Southern California. And, you know, at the moment, I'm just operating on a different frequency, and I'm coming after all these other featherweights, that's for sure.
How much of a difference has the MMA Lab with John Crouch made in your career right now?
That's 4-0 since I joined him, and, you know, we're gonna bring the belt back to that place, that's for sure.
I cannot wait to see you in this Bellator cage again. Congratulations on an impressive knockout victory against a great fighter. Ladies and gentlemen, Henry OK Corrales.
Our tail of the tape for this middleweight matchup. Look at the wins for Alexander Shlemenko, Big John. 56 total.
He has an incredible record, has fought everyone. Tokov, same thing, 26-2. There's just a ton of experience in that cage.
We don't know what will happen in the main event, but Russia will win in this fight.
Yes, they will.
Here's Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA now moves to the middleweight division. Set for 3 5-minute rounds live on Paramount Network. We introduce the blue corner at 5'10", weighing in 185.8 pounds. His professional record, 26 wins, only 2 defeats. Fighting out of Stanihovsko, Russia, Anatoly Tokov. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 5'11", weighing in 185.2 pounds. The former Bellator middleweight world champion stands tonight with 56 professional victories, 11 defeats. Fighting out of Omsk, Russia, Alexander "Storm" Shlemenko. In charge of the action, your referee, Dan Mergliata.
Dan Mergliata, our referee. Anatoly Tokov has not been stopped in 6 years and 9 months. Alexander Shlemenko wants to end that very long streak. He has finished 40 of his 56 career wins.
You ready, sir? Let's go, fight.
Here we go. Tonight's fight card brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Shlemenko in the red gloves. He will switch his stance back and forth. Tokov in the blue gloves.
Shlemenko loves the stand-up game. He just thrives in it. He throws a lot of crazy techniques. He takes big chances. We'll see if he does that right away with Tokov, because he knows how powerful Tokov is.
Certainly fights with the Russian spirit, much like his opponent Tokov, a member of Team Fedor. 29th professional fight for Anatoly. For Alexander, this is his 69th professional fight.
See that nice peekaboo cover that Shlemenko does? There's his spinning techniques he loves. He comes in with all types, throws everything you can think of. Spinning wheel kicks, back kicks, spinning back fist. He just loves the spinning techniques, and he's very good at setting them up.
Both of these men extremely explosive, and they are as fast as any middleweights in the world right now.
There are so many great fighters that come out of Russia as a country. They have so many studs. Big shots on both. Shlemenko got hit with a big right hand, but then spinning back elbow didn't catch him quite right, but it did hit him.
They clinch and work against the cage. Friday, November 16th, Patricio Pitbull puts his featherweight title on the line when he faces Emmanuel Sanchez. Plus, Phil Davis returns to face Fedor's protege, Vadim Nemkov. Bellator MMA, Friday, November 16th at 9 o'clock, right here on the new Paramount Network.
As I was saying, Mike, you know, all these Russian fighters, you look at Fedor as the most popular that's ever come out of that country. But if you want to look at it overall, Shlemenko is probably the most successful.
When I spoke with Andrei Koreshkov a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about Russian fighters and the history, and of course he's got huge respect for Fedor, but Andrei Koreshkov, who had that fight against Douglas Lima in San Jose, said, the man that I look up to is my trainer, my coach, my friend, Alexander Shlemenko.
Well, and you look at Shlemenko just being taken down. This is where Tokov wants him. But Shlemenko in his career, he started his career when Fedor was at the top of his game. Shlemenko had about 20 fights there. Fedor's at 40-some fights. Shlemenko has been fighting and fighting continuously. He's at almost 70 fights.
Wants to prove he is the best middleweight in the world. He wants a rematch with Gegard Mousasi. Wouldn't mind fighting Lyoto Machida. He said in that fight against Gegard Mousasi, he would have given himself the win. Mousasi called it the toughest fight of his career, and that was a war.
And that's part of the whole thing. That's how tough Alexander Shlemenko is. And you look at what Tokov's doing, this riding that he has on him. Shlemenko normally gets his way out, and he'll come back fighting strong, but Tokov just showed exactly the game plan that he needs to implement to get a victory today against Alexander.
They clinch once again.
This is what Josh Thompson was talking about, is closing that distance, being in boxing range, staying away from that elevated or elongated distance that Shlemenko lives in with all of his spinning techniques and all of his fancy kicks that he is so successful with.
And he said what inspired him to place the spinning back fist into his arsenal was Shoney Carter years ago.
Mr. International.
Yes, indeed.
Nice knee inside by Tokov. Good body shots. There's another spinning technique by Shlemenko. He's trying. And look at one. All it takes is one.
And that was against Matt Serra, who's in the building tonight. And I hope he doesn't come get angry at me.
Shoney did it a lot.
Yes, he did. That's fair enough. These guys are going to battle here early, John. I like it.
Very tough fight. Both guys are going after what they think they're going to be best at. Tokov has been good at getting inside of that range, getting this into that dirty boxing range that Josh was talking about. Alexander going for that outside sweep on it, doesn't work. Tokov is controlling this fight.
Good first round for Team Fedor and Anatoly Tokov.
It is.
The battle will continue. Red gloves for Shlemenko, the former champion in the middleweight division here in Bellator. And Anatoly Tokov, 26-2 as a professional. Who'd you give round 1 to?
Round 1 goes to Anatoly Tokov, 10-9. Good round for both fighters, but Anatoly did the best work.
Professional since 2009. Tokov began his training in the military with hand-to-hand combat and judo at age 14.
Alexander taking some big rushing attacks here that can open him up, but he's having some problems with what Tokov is bringing to him. He's also breathing a little bit hard, which is unusual for us. Nice shot to the Bills.
No comment. Big John McCarthy, ladies and gentlemen.
That came straight up. That's the ones that hurt. When they rise up, kind of protection, but it does raise up into you, and that does not feel good.
He didn't move, and you hit him straight in the groin. Listen, you got to be careful, okay? No warning after this one. You get a point taken, all right? Okay?
Dan Marigalata telling me he didn't move, and you hit him straight to the groin.
You got 5 minutes.
He's not going to take a point.
Let me get the
giving him a warning saying that if it happens again, he will take a point.
Can you let her in for me? Here. Let him know.
That was painful.
I don't know what he said, but I want to hear it. Listen, tell him that he
Tokov just told
5 minutes.
his interpreter that was painful, and I have no doubt he's correct.
He's ready? You sure? All right, thank you. All right, please. You want to touch? Go ahead. Hold it.
He's ready.
All right, ready? Let's go fight.
I knew he was ready too when he shook his head up and down too, by the way. But my Russian is not that great. Shlemenko again pinned against the cage by Tokov.
Nice sweep of the foot by Tokov. Shlemenko will get himself back up, but at least Tokov is in that range. He's away from that spinning technique that Alexander likes to implement.
Shlemenko, outside of the Bellator cage, was knocked out for the first time since 2009 in his last fight back in June by Bruno Silva. You don't see it very often, but Shlemenko was stopped. Of course, later is Fedor and Chael for that final spot in the finals of our heavyweight world Grand Prix. See who will fight Ryan Darth Bader.
Tokov right now, you can see how he's setting up the counters. He's seeing everything that Alexander is throwing. And you can see all the spinning attacks are starting to have a little bit of a delay to him, and that's not going to work for Alexander. Tokov is doing what he needs to do to start to wear down Shlemenko. Shlemenko's getting a little bit tired. When you look at him, he has been fighting in Bellator since 2010, Goldie, and he's had some incredible fights, and he pushed the Bellator middleweight champion to a point in that third round where a lot of people were thinking that Shlemenko won that fight, even though Gegard was the one that got the decision.
Said, I want the rematch. I was ready to fight him again 1 month later. Chael Sonnen, of course, has helped to hype our main event a little later tonight. And look at that, the Hulkster checking in. Chael Sonnen is a big dog, and he's tired of just hanging out on the porch. It's time for greatness, big dog brother. The Hulkster. Well, I'll tell you what, Mean Gene. I like that. Chael's very relaxed. That's the shortest reply in Chael's life.
I was going to say that's the fewest amount of words that have ever come out of Chael P. Sonnen.
But you gotta love when the Hulkster's watching. You know that Fedor's watching very closely right now, his teammate.
Shlemenko looking to say, oh, I think you just touched me. And it's like, nah, that didn't hit you hard, and that wasn't in that spot. Shlemenko does have a good guillotine. When he goes for the guillotine, He has a very strong EQ when he gets his hands collapsed. He is a tough guy in that position, but he lost that position. But Tokov is slowing down too, you can see. Both guys have been putting a lot of energy out in this fight. Big shots, throwing heavy leather. All those power shots start to drain your gas tank.
And you talk about gas tank and you talk about long fights. It was interesting that Shlemenko said, I consider Mousasi and I the two best middleweight fighters in Bellator. He wants a 5-round fight.
Oh, he does. He thinks that he can beat him. You look at what Alexander does, even that little bit he just did when he threw the right hand. He not only threw the right hand, he brought the left hand down for a knee tap. And you look, and he's the complete mixed martial artist. He doesn't want to be on the ground, but his submission defense is outstanding. His defensive wrestling is outstanding, and his stand-up, you can't ask for a tougher nut to crack than Alexander Shlemenko.
Tokov trying to drag him to the ground.
And the reason Shlemenko goes towards the fence in these situations, you'll see him put his head against the fence where it takes away sometimes a lot of the uppercuts that can come because the fence gets in the way and touches the glove and stops the punch.
The battle will continue. Right. One of the greatest of all time, and he's still unbeaten in his mixed martial arts career. Herschel Walker here tonight, and there he is, Ryan Darth Bader with his beautiful wife Daisy. A victory last night, a dominant victory over Matt Mitrione. Bader will fight the winner of tonight's main event of the evening. Third and final round of this fight. Tokov and Shlemenko. How do you score?
Right now I have Tokov ahead. I think Shlemenko needs to pull something out or have a dominant round here.
So Tokov up 2-1, or 2-love, pardon me, on John's card.
Nice little knee inside, gets the grappling, but you see him landing those shots. He's the one landing the better, cleaner shots in this fight. Although Alexander's throwing some flashy stuff, it's not really connecting.
Ryan Bader gave up 25 pounds to Matt Mitrione last night in semifinal number 1. Fedor Emelianenko weighed in at 236, Chael Sonnen at 227 for our main event tonight.
Chael Sonnen, a true heavyweight.
Yes. Who used to not be a heavyweight. Ryan Bader looks spectacular at 229 and a half.
A lot of that comes down to, when people talk about size and everything, speed is always still the biggest component that will give a fighter trouble. And when you're looking at Chael going up in weight, he carries speed from that middleweight, the light heavyweight, now into the heavyweight division. He has speed still with him, and that's what is getting him these wins.
It's been over 4 years since Alexander Shlemenko lost back-to-back fights, Tito Ortiz and Brandon Halsey. Halsey in that middleweight title fight.
Good left hook by Shlemenko.
Tito with the arm triangle, that fight was at 205. And John, you said Alexander Shlemenko needs to do some work here to avoid that fate once again.
I do think he does. He's working hard. You see that he's going for that tap again. But it's just he's not landing the cleaner shots. He's landing at times, but it's usually ones, and then he's getting countered and he's taking the heavier shot.
Tokov, definitely one of the young studs here at 185 inside the Bellator cage. Our champion, of course, Gegard Mousasi, with the win over Rory McDonald. Who will be next?
And again, Tokov is landing the cleaner shots in those exchanges. Got a good wizard here. Can't utilize it to get him, keep him on the ground, ends up against the cage.
So what is Tokov doing right to neutralize Shlemenko?
He's winning the exchanges. When you're looking at them both throwing, Shlemenko's throwing, but he's not landing the clean shot, and he's getting either countered with a clean shot that lands, straight jab lands, he doesn't land anything, or he has it to where he's coming in and rushing in, and he's throwing, he touches Tokov, but then Tokov touches him with a better shot.
Under 2 minutes. Nicely read by Anatoly Tokov there.
Nice change of levels, gets to his back, off of him, going for the spinning technique. And this is what we were talking about. This is what Josh Thompson brought up in the pre-show is, look at, if Tokov can get inside that range of those spinning techniques, he takes them away, and that's what he's doing.
Tonight is the night. USA versus Russia. Fedor Emelianenko, Chael Sonnen, our main event. Mike Goldberg, Big John McCarthy, Jen Brown, Frank Mir, Josh Thompson. Great to be here inside NYCB Live, home of the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. This is the third and final round of this middleweight fight between the former champion Alexander Shlemenko and Anatoly Tokov from Team Fedor.
Tokov dragging him to the ground here. He's got his back. He could do something in 40 seconds to end this fight. Shlemenko needs to be careful. He's good at his defense.
30 seconds.
And this is a technique that Shlemenko has used for years in his defense of grapplers. He puts himself up against the cage, puts his head against the cage, works on the hands, and works at getting free.
As I mentioned, winner of 19 of his last 20 fights. This one about to go the distance. Great performance by Anatoly Tokov.
Hey. Hey, Sal. That's just a
Look at
younger
a nice
man.
clean right hand lands on Shlemenko from Tokov. Beautiful inside trip, bringing him down to the canvas. These knees, look at that, hurts. It may not look like that impressive, but it hurts. The takedown, blocking the leg, drags him to the ground. All of these clean techniques, beautiful right hand straight down the pipe, left hand down the pipe. That's why Anatoly Tokov should win this fight.
We will find out because our official decision is coming up next. This is Bellator MMA. One of the greatest of all time, and he's still unbeaten in his mixed martial arts career. Herschel Walker here tonight, and there he is, Ryan Darth Bader with his beautiful wife Daisy. A victory last night, a dominant victory over Matt Mitrione. Bader will fight the winner of tonight's main event of the evening. Third and final round of this fight. Tokov and Shlemenko. How do you score?
Right now I have Tokov ahead. I think Shlemenko needs to pull something out or have a dominant round here.
So Tokov up 2-1, or 2-love, pardon me, on John's card.
Nice little knee inside, gets the grappling, but you see him landing those shots. He's the one landing the better, cleaner shots in this fight. Although Alexander's throwing some flashy stuff, it's not really connecting.
Ryan Bader gave up 25 pounds to Matt Mitrione last night in semifinal number 1. Fedor Emelianenko weighed in at 236, Chael Sonnen at 227 for our main event tonight.
Chael Sonnen, a true heavyweight.
Yes. Who used to not be a heavyweight. Ryan Bader looks spectacular at 229 and a half.
A lot of that comes down to, you know, when people talk about size and everything, speed is always still the biggest component that will give a fighter trouble. And when you're looking at Chael going up in weight, he carries speed from that middleweight, the light heavyweight, now into the heavyweight division. He has speed still with him, and that's what is getting him these wins.
It's been over 4 years since Alexander Shlemenko lost back-to-back fights, Tito Ortiz and Brandon Halsey. Halsey in that middleweight title fight.
Good left hook by Shlemenko.
Tito with the arm triangle. That fight was at 205. And John, you said Alexander Shlemenko needs to do some work here to avoid that fate once again.
I do think he does. You know, he's working hard. You see that he's going for that tap again, but it's just he's not landing the cleaner shots. He's landing at times, but it's usually ones, and then he's getting countered and he's taking the heavier shot.
Tokov, definitely one of the young studs here at 185 inside the Bellator cage. Our champion, of course, Gegard Mousasi, with the win over Rory McDonald. Who will be next?
And again, Tokov is landing the cleaner shots in those exchanges. Got a good wizard here. Can't utilize it to get him, keep him on the ground, ends up against the cage.
So what is Tokov doing right
He's
to
winning
neutralize Shlemenko?
He's winning the exchanges. When you're looking at them both throwing, Shlemenko's throwing, but he's not landing the clean shot, and he's getting either countered with a clean shot that lands, straight jab, lands, he doesn't land anything, or he has it to where he's coming in and rushing in, and he's throwing, he touches Tokov, but then Tokov touches him with a better shot.
Under 2 minutes. Nicely read by Anatoly Tokov there.
Nice change of levels, gets to his back, off of him, going for the spinning technique. And this is what we were talking about. This is what Josh Thompson brought up in the pre-show is, look at, if Tokov can get inside that range of those spinning techniques, he takes them away, and that's what he's doing.
Tonight is the night. USA versus Russia. Fedor Emelianenko, Chael Sonnen, our main event. Mike Goldberg, Big John McCarthy, Jen Brown, Frank Mir, Josh Thompson. Great to be here inside NYCB Live, home of the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. This is the third and final round of this middleweight fight between the former champion Alexander Shlemenko and Anatoly Tokov from Team Fedor.
Tokov dragging him to the ground here. He's got his back. He could do something in 40 seconds in this fight. Shlemenko needs to be careful. He's good at his defense.
30 seconds.
And this is a technique that Shlemenko has used for years in his defense of grapplers. He puts himself up against the cage, puts his head against the cage, works on the hands, and works at getting free.
As I mentioned, winner of 19 of his last 20 fights. This one about to go the distance. Great performance by Anatoly Tokov.
Hey. Hey, Sal, that's just a
Look at
younger
a nice
man.
clean right hand, lands on Shlemenko from Tokov. Beautiful inside trip, bringing him down to the canvas. These knees, look at that, hurts. It may not look like that impressive, but it hurts. The takedown, blocking the leg, drags him to the ground. All of these clean techniques, beautiful right hand straight down the pipe, left hand down the pipe. That's why Anatoly Tokov should win this fight.
We will find out because our official decision is coming up next. This is Bellator MMA. Our tale of the tape for this heavyweight fight, 43-year-old Congo against 33-year-old Johnson.
Look at those records, 40 fights for Congo. Tim Johnson doesn't have near the experience. Will that be a difference in this fight?
We will find out. With the official introductions, once again, Michael C. Williams.
Live on Paramount Network, Bellator MMA now presents a heavyweight feature set for 3 5-minute rounds. We introduce the fighter out of the blue corner first. At 6'3", weighing in 265.6 pounds tonight. Making his Bellator debut, he brings 12 professional victories, 4 losses. From Lamberton, Minnesota, he fights out of Fargo, North Dakota. Introducing Tim Johnson. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 6'4", weighing in 239.2 pounds as a professional. 28 victories, 10 losses with 2 draws, hailing from and fighting out of Paris, France, presenting Czech Congo. And the referee in charge of the action, Todd Anderson.
Todd Anderson, our referee. Tim Johnson travels to Vegas frequently to train with Big Country. Roy Nelson, he said he may relocate permanently after this fight. If I lived in Fargo, North Dakota, and winter was approaching, I would move to Vegas as well. Ready? Against Czech Congo. Here we go. Tonight's Fight Clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Johnson making his Bellator debut in this, his 15th professional fight, the southpaw in the blue gloves, the veteran of 12 fights inside the Bellator cage, Czech Congo in the red gloves.
I think you are going to see a bit of a feeling out process, but Tim Johnson is going to be the guy that you're going to see trying to close the distance in this fight, in my opinion.
9 first-round finishes for Czech Congo. 7 by knockout, 2 by submission. And he's coming off the first-round finish, as I mentioned earlier, of Javi Ayala. He was in a really good mood, John, when we visited with him a couple of days ago. Said he feels great. He's working harder than he has ever worked. And, of course, a training partner with Rampage, who's coming off his victory over the Axe Murderer.
Well, you could take a look at Congo and you can realize, well, he's an athlete, no doubt about it. It's a bad position for Tim Johnson.
And it is all over, just like that. Back-to-back first-round finishes. Seven straight victories for Czech Congo.
Tim Johnson goes at it. We get stunned with a shot that actually glances off the top of his head, ends up underneath him, takes a couple more shots. Referee comes in, stops it. He's not defending himself. You take big shots from a big man like Czech Congo, they are gonna hurt. Position here, you see him open up. His head is trapped, arm is trapped by his leg, not responding. That's why Todd Anderson stops the fight.
Czech Congo with his 11th Bellator victory. We will make it official when we return to Long Island here on Paramount Network. Czech Congo with the victory. Impressive indeed. In fact, my buddy Johnny D just said that was about as fast as a Fargo summer. Let's make it official. Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, the end comes 1 minute, 8 seconds into round number 1. The winner by knockout, Czech Congo.
Back-to-back finishes in the first round for Congo. Here is Big John McCarthy.
Well, you have your interpreter here. Tiki Ghosh is going to be interpreting for you in French, I guess. So I'm going to ask you, you have come out in their last 2 fights and put your opponents down and out quickly. Is this the new style that you're trying to employ here in Bellator as the heavyweight?
So first of all, I would like to say, and sorry guys, but in French, for my community. So les gars, voilà, on arrive bientôt en France. Donc je serai heureux de vous accueillir là-bas avec un titre pour une ceinture. Ensuite, je voudrais remercier toute ma team, mes camarades, la famille qui m'ont supporté tout au long de cette préparation.
I want to thank the nation of France for being behind me. I want to thank my coaches and training partners for preparing me for this match. I can't wait to bring Bellator to France.
You have now 2 knockout wins in a row. We have the heavyweight Grand Prix. The last 2 guys will be known tonight. Do you want to take on whoever's the winner of that heavyweight title?
You know, the thing is, I used to fight right now, so apparently that means 7 wins, right? So I think, you know, I used to belong, you know, to that tournament, no matter what about the results. So I used to be, to be away, to push away from that. So guys, you know, I'm coming. You know, unfortunately, you're gonna do with this. I'm here. I'm still at 43 years old. You know, and I won't give up. Natural, no juice, no drugs. Still in competition, guys, and thank you for your support.
Well, at 43 years old, you're still having that power. Congratulations, Czech Congo. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Mr. Czech Congo.
Czech Congo being presented a bottle of La Chemin Noir, courtesy of our good friend 50 Cent, who was in the house tonight. And he's got a bottle of his own, and he should, because it's his line of champagne. Our co-main event of the evening. Look at that, Big John. The wins of both men, almost virtually identical.
The height is one thing, 5'11". Side is a big frame for this division. Benson has got to deal with that size.
That's what Josh Thompson just talked about. Michael C. Williams with the official introduction.
Bellator MMA now presents tonight's co-main event, 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. And now, live on Paramount Network, we introduce the blue corner. At 5'11", weighing in 155.8 pounds, his professional record, 23 wins, 9 defeats, fighting out of San Bernardino, California, Syed, the Assassin. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner. At 5'9", weighing in 155.8 pounds, the two-time former lightweight world champion now stands with 25 professional victories, 8 defeats. Fighting out of Glendale, Arizona, presenting Smooth Benson Henderson. In charge of the action, your referee, Rob Hines.
Rob Hines will be our referee. I mentioned it earlier, 18th Bellator fight for Alexander Shlemenko, 18th Bellator fight for Syed Awad. They are tied for 3rd all-time. Joe Warren, Michael Chandler, Patrici Pitbull with 19. David Rickles, Patricky Pitbull with 20. Benson Henderson said, I haven't given Bellator my best performance yet. Here we go! Tonight's fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Heavy kick early from Benson in the red gloves. Awad in the blue gloves.
Benson Henderson's kicks are incredibly heavy. He does a lot of damage with them. He needs to establish those kicks on that front leg of Awad's, take away some of his mobility, take away some of his power.
Let's see if the start for Benson Henderson is at a better pace than it has been in the past. And Benson has admitted many times he's a slow starter. He's lost the first round of every fight basically in Bellator. And this isn't a 5-round fight. He's got to get to work quickly.
Yeah, it's one of the things. I had talked to his coach long ago, John. I said, man, I would never put him in anything but a 5-round fight because he does start slow, but he has been working on doing things that are going to change that. He talked to me and he said, you know, John, I used to think too much. I would think, I can do this, I can do that. And instead of doing them, I was thinking about them. I need to start doing them.
He evaluates his opponent's movements and so on early in a fight, much like Anderson Silva used to do, but you can't do it too long, John, and then find yourself down on the scorecards.
And that's exactly it, because it's not that you're really not getting beat up, but you're losing the fight. You're not landing enough, you're not doing enough, and eventually all of a sudden you find that you're so far behind, now you have to get that knockout or that submission to get the win.
Syed extremely confident, like a new fighter since moving over to the training lab. Sam Calavita, we mentioned, Mark Munoz, Dwayne Ludwig, TJ Dillashaw, Cub Swanson, with all those new babies still there.
Benson being very careful of that power that Syed possesses. Getting into him on this is a good idea. Get his hands collapsed onto that leg, but he's got to be careful of that neck. It is inside there. Nice takedown by Benson Henderson, taking him completely out of his ability to land that knockout blow.
Benson has not been stopped since the one and only time he was knocked out. That was by Rafael Dos Anjos back in August of 2014. It came in his 25th fight. And the referee in that fight is sitting next to me, which probably pleases Benson Henderson.
Completely, man. Get rid of that guy. That was one of those fights when, you know, Benson coming in just got caught. It can happen to anyone. That's part of MMA. I always said, look, no one's going to go undefeated in MMA. There's too many ways to lose. When you look at what's happening right now, Benson has a distinct advantage, in my opinion, on the ground against Said. Said has got the power. Benson has got the technical skill. And on the ground, he can move himself to good positions where he can do damage against Said.
Benson said he knew he would have to weather an early storm, and it looks as if he has, trying to get a hook in. Said Awad doing a nice job of fighting it off for now.
Said is making a big mistake in trying to talk to the referee. He's upset about something. Don't do that. Fight. Let the referee do his job. If you think that something went wrong, just continue on.
Remember, I mentioned Said Awad has not been submitted in over 8 years. Nicely done, but not out of trouble yet.
Good movement. Good movement by both fighters. Said Awad getting himself up. Benson following him around, not staying with something that he was going to lose, moving to a position he could still continue his attack.
Great scramble by Said Awad. Now he's trying to crank on the neck of Benson.
He is going for that Darce. Where Benson is at, he's going to have a hard time closing it off. You can get this from being underneath. He just needs to create that pressure. He doesn't have it.
Benson back on top.
What Said was upset with and what he was complaining to the referee is Benson Henderson grabbed a hold of his glove, not his hand, the inside of his glove to control his hand, and that's what got him the position.
20 seconds! 18 seconds, man! There you go.
Good start in our co-main event of the evening. Tonight's Corner Cam is brought to you by Boost Mobile. Easy to switch, easy to save.
Great job by our Bellator. Sorry, thank you very much.
Yep, he did not. Hey, you can't let him dictate the pace for as long. You understand? You have to throw some stuff. So let's do, when Eddie calls it, I want you to do it, and then hit the Viking again. He can't get up, champ. He can't get up. We're going to catch him in this round. Yachty?
Great job by our Bellator production crew in catching. Look at that grab. You can see Benson Henderson grabbing the material of the glove, not the hand. That is illegal. That's what's pulling Said over, and that's why he was complaining to the referee, saying, hey, he's got to hold it. You can't break that. It's not like someone's grabbing your hand. He's got the material. He's going to control your hand. It is a distinct disadvantage, and that's why it's a foul.
John Crouch said to Benson Henderson, you cannot let him dictate the pace. You're going to catch him this round. Round two. The southpaw Benson Henderson, red gloves. Went for a little bit of a flying knee. Said Awad in the blue gloves. 4-fight win streak for Said Awad.
Said is having to, it's a good little screen by, but he's having to deal with those kicks, and I'm telling you, Benson Henderson has some incredibly hard kicks. He kicks, I've had guys I used to train that went down to train with him, they go, man, there's one thing, Benson Henderson kicks hard. And Said is having to deal with those. That's slowing him down a little bit, but he's still coming forward. He's looking to land his hands on Benson.
They're not quite Herschel Walker legs, but they are football player legs.
Oh, yeah.
On Benson Henderson.
He has got heavy legs.
He likes that low kick as well. Good 1-2 by Smooth.
And nice setup on how he did it. Good read by Awad, the way he went out. He just got hit by a big left hand.
Still to come, our main event. The Last Emperor, the American Gangster, the winner fights. Ryan Bader. 90 seconds into round 2.
He's got, if he can get himself up, turn his head, he's got this takedown. Nice job by Syed Awad to reverse that. Syed Awad showing great wrestling prowess. Benson's still in on it. He's got to stop what he's doing. He's got his hands clasped. Normally you get those hands together. That's why the takedown happens.
Sam Calavita, his head trainer. Strength and conditioning is his specialty. The Ironman took him 15 years to qualify for Kona, the Ironman World Championships. I don't think you can ever come in and tell that guy you're tired.
What you're seeing with Benson is utilizing his head as that third arm, pressing down on Syed Awad's head, pushing it against the cage, getting his hand free, and opening up with a shot. This is how you tire a fighter out. This is that grind that we talk about. This is how you bring someone into those deep waters.
Friday, November 30th, live and free right here on Paramount Network. 2 knockout artists, Melvin Manhoff and Chitty Bang Bang Njokuani, face off in a pivotal showdown at 185. Bellator MMA live Friday, November 30th at 9, right here on Paramount Network.
Good explosion by Syed to get himself back to his feet. Benson's still on his back, but he's in a much better position to get himself back to where he wants to be in the stand-up. Good hip ride. You can see Benson trying to get that hook in. He's got it now. He actually has the arm too. It's too high.
But relentless in his attack.
And that's when we talk about that transition and chaining these techniques together. When one doesn't work and now I'm switching to the next, you beat the one, but then now all of a sudden something's coming in on you and you're not ready for it, and it gets a hold of you, and now you're back on the ground.
A lot of this battle has been on the ground, but an interesting note on Syed Awad. He's got 10 career wins by knockout. They've all been in the first round. But that comes to the gas tank and the things that he has told us in the last few visits, John, that he has solved.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's putting out a lot of energy right now, and he does not seem to be slowing down. He was reaching for a Kimura. Not a good thing to reach for a Kimura if you don't have control of the lower body also. Big knee by Benson Henderson.
The champion, Brent Primus, Michael Chandler, December 14th in Hawaii. Of course, Patricky Pitbull on a 4-fight win streak. The winner of this fight might just face himself a Pitbull next.
This is a very fast-paced fight. Benson Henderson is pushing the action on this fight. Syed is here for all of it, but he's still complaining again. Something happened he's not happy with. He's got to stop worrying about those things. Stick with what you're going to do. Stay with your game plan. You've got a head and arm choke going here. If he gets to the side, he's got a chance.
Can he get it right here? Looking for the finish. Syed Awad trying to survive. 10 seconds on the clock. Gives the thumbs up. Benson cranking on it. He made it. Wow. Fedor Emelianenko, 4 of his last 5 wins by first-round knockout, including his 48-second finish of Frank Mir to advance to tonight's fight against J.O.P. Sonnen, who said wrestling beats Sambo and Judo all day long. Heavy kick by Henderson to start round 3.
That was a heavy kick, and I'm telling you, that kick hurt. I've got Benson Henderson ahead right now, 2 rounds to none. Syed has got to do something to change the course of what's been happening in this fight.
Good sprawl. And that was a legal knee to the shoulder area of Henderson.
It was legal. It hit the chest and shoulder. Totally legal attempt. Benson right back after him. Like, I'm really impressed with the pressure that Benson Henderson is bringing in this fight against Sayed. Sayed is not wilting at all, but there's a ton of pressure coming from Benson Henderson.
Benson said, I have not given Bellator a great performance yet. Been pretty solid here tonight.
I thought that Benson's performance against Roger Huerta was an outstanding performance. It turned the corner for him, but it wasn't the performance that we've been looking for when he had a fighter that was scheduled to face him. Roger came in last minute. He needs something like what we're seeing tonight. Technically in this fight, Benson is just getting the better positions, doing the better work, causing more problems for Sayed that he's having to deal with.
Benson and Patricky have fought before. It was a split decision. The main event back at Bellator 183. Just over 3 minutes on the clock.
Again, look at the use of the head. Look at what he's doing, is making that a third arm, pressing up against Sayed, pushing his head to the side. It takes away a lot of the strength of Sayed.
Stop. Up.
Rob Hines steps in.
No, back up. Stay right there. Benson, you grabbed the cage to hold your position. I'm not deducting a point, but I'm taking you out of the position. No. You grabbed the cage. Sayed up.
This is what Rob Hines is talking about. You can see his fingers through it. In that position, I honestly don't think Benson was purposely trying to grab the cage to hold a position, but you can look and see why the referee ended up taking him out of the position because of it.
And Rob said if you do it again, he will take a point. Benson was like, I did? Replay says guilty. Sayed Awad.
Sayed still throwing hard, and that right there tells me that all that training that he has done with the training lab is working, because he used to burn out in fights. He is not burning out. He's been in bad positions. He's done a lot of work, and he's still going strong.
Don't forget, immediately following our main event here tonight, it is the post-show. It'll be on our Bellator app and live on DAZN. Sayed Awad on Big John's scorecard, down 2-1. And he has only 2 finishes in his career after the first round.
I know Benson Henderson loves that long hair, but I don't know how he fights with it in his face.
Maybe he does a little Clay Guida FaceTime and they discuss how you do it. Oh, big right hand.
It did land, but it didn't have the effect. It was the kick and the off balance that really put Benson down, but it did land. Benson getting him back down onto his back. This has been a beautiful performance by Benson Henderson. All of the grappling, all the takedowns, all of the striking, all leading up to a dominant performance tonight.
Sayed Awad back in 2015 lost to Patricky Pitbull. Suffered a broken hand in the first round. That was a unanimous decision. But right now, if Patricky's next on the list with Chandler fighting Primus, then Smooth Benson Henderson is about 40 seconds away from that potential matchup.
Potential rematch.
Yes. Both of them, it would be a rematch.
Benson's getting that same arm triangle choke. The biggest problem is the cage is keeping him from getting over to the side that would complete the choke. He's got a good squeeze and he's creating a lot of pressure, but he's unable to control the body. He could still finish this off as a choke.
Remember, Sayed Awad has not been submitted in over 8 years. And it looks like that could continue. Benson dominant again here in the third and final round. Vintage Benson Henderson here tonight.
Look at that kick right under the elbow, right to the side of the body, leg kicks. Those kicks had a big impact in this fight. They helped Benson with his stand-up. They helped him in the grappling and getting the fight to the ground. Benson landed a lot of hard shots on Syed. Shots to the leg, shots to the body, punches to the head. Incredible performance by Benson Henderson.
That may very well be that great performance here in Bellator that Smooth Benson Henderson was talking about. Define the fight, stare at your past, the future goes flying by. Benson Henderson certainly was in the moment tonight with the official decision, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your official score totals will go to the scorecards. The first judge, Daryl Porter, scores the fight 30-27, while judges Tim Corrado and Marcel Varela both see the fight the same 30-26. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Smooth Benson Henderson.
Benson Henderson with a dominant performance. Here's Big John.
I am here with your winner, Benson Henderson. That was an outstanding performance. The kicks, the punches, the grappling that you brought onto this cage against a good fighter with power in Syed Awad. How are you feeling right now?
For me, guys, it's all about, it doesn't matter what you do. You can be a reporter, a camera guy, you can be a fighter, you can be a reporter. It doesn't matter what it is you do in life. It's about how you conduct yourself, how you act. Your sons, your daughters are gonna watch what you did. It's on TV. How are you gonna explain to them, oh, well, you know, this guy talked to me bad, so I jumped off the cage. Oh, well, I was just selling a fight, so I decided to talk this. How are you gonna explain that to your kids watching, oh, I was trying to sell a fight. Oh, he said something to me. Your son's gonna be 5 years old. He's gonna tell you, this kid said something to me at school. What do you say? Oh, go beat him up? No. Watch how you conduct yourself. You are professional athletes. You gotta hold yourself to a higher standard.
Let's talk about how tough Syed was. You had him 2 times in an arm triangle choke, close to finishing him. How tough a fight was it for you?
It was a super tough fight. I grabbed him a little bit, and to my surprise, as soon as we disengaged and I let go of my hands, my arm's a little bit fatigued. Like, he did a good job fighting off the initial takedowns and made me really work hard for it. So we backed away. My hands went from here down to here. I couldn't quite hold them up. I tried to throw my jab. It was like extra slow. I was like, man, that's a slow jab. What is that? Tried throwing a straight 2. It was all slow and out of place and everything. Oh, man, your arms are tired, boy. You gotta do something here.
I'll tell you what, that was your most impressive performance here in this Bellator cage. Outstanding fight against a great fighter. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Benson Smooth Henderson.
Our main event of the evening. 42-year-old Fedor Emelianenko against 41-year-old Chael P. Sonnen. Look at the weight.
Look at that record, 37-5, 30-15. We're talking about 2 guys that have been in this sport for over 20 years, and you've only got 5 losses on Fedor in 20 years.
236 for Emelianenko, 227 for Chael Sonnen. Reach advantage to the last Emperor. Official introductions from Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA on Paramount Network from NYCB Live. The time has come for the main event of the evening, the conclusion of the semifinal round in the Heavyweight World Grand Prix. Sanctioned tonight by the New York State Athletic Commission and brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And now, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds, we introduce the blue corner. At 6'1", weighing in 227 pounds, multiple times a world title challenger, he brings a professional record with 30 victories, 15 defeats, and 1 draw. Hailing from and fighting out of West Lynn, Oregon, introducing Chael, the American Gangster Sonnen. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner. At 6 foot, weighing in 236 pounds. A former champion, an iconic career. Tonight, he stands with 37 professional victories, including 28 finishes, along with 5 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the legend from Stadiovsko, Russia, the last Emperor, Fedor Emelianenko. In charge of the action, your referee, Dan Mugliana.
All right, gentlemen, in the center, please. All right, guys, been through the rules in the locker room. I want you to obey my commands at all times. I want you to take yourselves at all times. If you want to touch gloves, do it now. If you want to touch gloves, okay, back to the corners, guys.
Second question was the same as the first question, and yes, they did touch gloves. Fedor Emelianenko has only gone to the judges' scorecards 2 times in the last 18 fights. He has never lost a decision.
You ready?
Chael Sonnen looking to take him down and beat him up. Here we go. Tonight's fight
big shot.
He's hard Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories.
Chael Sonnen has now tasted the power of Fedor Emelianenko. Another shot.
Big shot immediately thrown by Fedor.
Those shots are going to slow down those takedown attempts. When you're getting nailed, you don't want to come in again.
Boom. And the takedown attempt hasn't worked yet, but it does now. But look at this.
And that's the sambo of Fedor Emelianenko. This is what people don't understand. He is a phenomenal grappler.
Fedor, 15 wins by submission, 13 wins by knockout.
One of the things that used to happen in Pride, Fedor had some of the best ground and pound we have ever seen. He has turned into a stand-up fighter, doesn't even seem to want to fight on the ground anymore.
Look at that. This is not good for Chael Sonnen.
Chael keeps coming back.
Yep, this is what Frank and Josh talked about. If Chael can't take him down, this fight could be very short.
It could, but I'm telling you, this is what makes Chael Sonnen who he is. He is a gangster when it comes to he does not quit. Look at that takedown. Look at him going after it. He will not stop. He will continue to press until you put him down. That was not a smart move.
Big shots from Fedor. Looking to finish it right here, right now.
Chael is sticking with it, but Chael made a big, what he did is he tried to hook in it and roll Fedor over to get his back. It didn't work for him. It was an attempt at something. I give him credit for trying, but you got to be careful when you're working with Fedor.
The explosiveness of Fedor Emelianenko on display prominently here early in this fight.
We were talking earlier about positioning and where Chael needed to be. Fedor keeps getting to those positions that Chael wants to be in.
24 first-round finishes for Fedor Emelianenko.
Chael is pressing the action. You can see Fedor is breathing a little bit. A little bit of a rush, a little bit of adrenaline high. He's breathing hard, and Chael's got this takedown.
That is Chael Sonnen 101 right there.
It is, and he's in the position he needs to be to do damage to Fedor. This half-guard position is a great position for Chael Sonnen right now.
So far, Fedor doing a good job of controlling the posture of Chael Sonnen. And he continues to do so.
I think both fighters are trying to settle themselves down, grab some air, just get their heart rate going where they're comfortable so they can start to open up and attack again.
Absolutely, Big Johnny, frenetic pace to the start of this fight. Big shot landed immediately by Fedor. He had Chael down, beating him up, and now Chael Sonnen on top.
Nice move by Chael to get to that mount. Wow. This is where, on the ground, in this position, Fedor can be dangerous. He is a ground and pound master when he decides to go for it.
At the very top of the show, we talked about a similar type of attack for Chael as we saw from Ryan Bader, but with some twists and some big punches.
That was a big right hand. Big right hand that Fedor landed on Chael. Chael is hanging tough. Love what I see out of him right now. He's got to move this.
Looking to finish right here, right now.
He's not being hurt, but he's got to move when Dan tells him to move.
And it's all over. Fedor Emelianenko will fight Ryan Bader for the heavyweight world championship. '25th first round finish, 12th John by knockout.
Watch the hands here. Left hand comes up straight into the jaw of Chael Sonnen, but he weathered the storm on all of them. He got hit early, he got hit hard, but he kept pressing forward, going after the takedowns. It just wasn't meant to be for him to stay on top of Fedor. This is a position, loses control. I understand what he was trying to do and snap Fedor over with him. It didn't work for him. He ended up taking some shots for it. And here, what we're seeing is Fedor landing those shots, and Chael is not responding. You hear Dan Miragliotta telling him, you got to move. Show me something. And there's nothing happening, and that's why the fight ends.
The last Emperor will fight once again for a world championship. It will come in January inside the Forum. Fedor is certainly far from finished. A masterful performance, a first-round TKO over Chael Sonnen. To make it official, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end officially. 4 minutes, 46 seconds into round number 1 by TKO. He advances to the finals of the Bellator Heavyweight World Grand Prix, the last Emperor, Fedor Emelianenko.
The GOAT looked great tonight. Here is Big John.
I am here with the winner, Fedor Emelianenko. Fedor, you guys came out and started bombing. You hit Chael Sonnen with some big shots, but he kept responding. Were you surprised by him continuing to go after you and push you in this fight?
Федор, вы показали беспримерный бой, и вы обрушили ряд ударов, очень сильных на Chaela Sonnena. Но были ли вы удивлены, как он противостоял и все-таки пытался вам ответить?
Да, Chael очень хорошо работал. Грамотно старался смещаться с линии так. Вот очень, да, молодец, хорошо готовился, видно.
Chael worked really very hard, and it shows that he did prepare very well.
How tired was he getting from all of that activity and going after Chael and throwing big bombs? Was he getting a little winded in the middle of that round?
Насколько измотал вас Chael, насколько вы устали, пытаясь достать Chaela своими ударами?
Нет, ну, слава богу, все хорошо. Еще можно работать.
Thanks God, I'm not tired and still can be working.
I'm sure he watched the fight last night, seeing Ryan Bader advance to the finals along with him now. How does he feel about facing a guy like Ryan Bader?
Вы, наверное, уже слышали или смотрели вчерашний бой и знаете, что Райан Бейдер вышел в финал. Как вы смотрите на то, что вы встретитесь с Райан Бейдером?
Да, очень хороший, серьезный соперник. Я видел его на открытой тренировке. Очень сильный, очень грамотный боец.
He is a great and very strong fighter. I did have the opportunity to watch him during the open workout, and I can see that he's very great and very serious opponent.
Well, I just want to tell you congratulations on a very impressive win. Congratulations on moving on to the finals of the Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix and getting a chance at that Bellator Heavyweight title. Ladies and gentlemen, the last emperor, Fedor Emelianenko.
Outstanding again tonight. Let's get back to John.
One of my favorite people to be able to talk to in this world is standing next to me, and I thought he gave an incredible performance tonight against Fedor. Chael, how are you feeling right now? I know you're disappointed, but how are you feeling?
Yeah, he hurt me early. Everything he did hurt. Everything had bad intentions, and I was trying to recover, and I was kind of drowning out there. But I was impressed. He was very fast. He was very powerful. Looked like he looked when I watched him on TV, but I could feel it.
Well, I tell you what, you put on a performance in the pressure that you put. Let me ask you about one technique that you tried. You got his back, and you tried to pull him over, and that didn't work for you. Is that what was one of the things that led to you having a problem in the end of this fight?
Yeah, I had his chin tucked. I thought I could roll him and maybe go for a rear naked position. My hips were a little too high. I couldn't bear him. I used to do that move in college a lot, but he ducked his oh, those punches hurt. Can you tell that hurts, John?
I can tell that hurts.
He had some good power. Yeah, I look for him and Bader is going to be a great fight.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to congratulate you on an incredible performance. You have conducted yourself like a champion, and that is what you are, Chael Sonnen. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chael P. Sonnen.